Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, shalom to the elect by Hashem Chakvadash. My name is Jacob from Plaintables Camp, Isaiah 19 and 20. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto Yahweh of hosts in the land of Egypt, which is America, spiritually Egypt. America is spiritually East Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. For they shall cry unto Yahweh, the Israelites, all right, the elect mainly, and the 2/3 too, but they're not going to get delivered. They're going to die here by thermonuclear destruction. But the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will be delivered. For they shall cry unto Yahweh because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. Now, so this is talking about the deliverance out of Babylon, America, out of Egypt, America. America is spiritually Babylon, Egypt, and Sodom. And Yahweh shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day, and shall do sacrifice and oblation. Yeah, they shall vow a vow unto Yahweh and perform it. All right. And the what we were classified as that we're American citizens. So we're the Israelites in Egypt. All right, so we be classified as Egyptians in this respect. It's an allegory. All right, and the Lord shall smite Egypt. Okay, that's how you know it's an allegory. First it's against Egypt, now it seemed like it's for Egypt, now it's against Egypt again, because it's an allegory. All right, we're going to do sacrifice unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right, not for sins. All right, but for just sacrifice, because it's something that we're giving up to show honor and respect. Because in the kingdom we're going to be perfect. It says, and Yahweh shall smite Egypt; he shall smite it and heal it, and they shall return. And they shall return even to Yahweh. All right, that's how you got to know it's an allegory. Yeah, Egypt's going to be destroyed, but we that live here in Babylon, America, Egypt, spiritually Babylon, spiritually Egypt, and they shall return even to Yahweh. The Egyptians were never with the Father or the Son. It's referring to the Israelites dwelling in the spiritual land of Egypt. All right, you can't learn this at university. Okay, even Yahweh, and he shall be entreated of them and shall heal them. And that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. All right, well, I actually wanted the 14th verse, so I don't know why I started reading that. That's odd. Okay, I actually wanted the 14th verse, so maybe that was the spirit. It was to led me to that. This is what I wanted to read. The Lord. I'm still recording, right? Yes. The Lord hath mangled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So the spiritual Egyptians on the wicked side, all right, the Edomites, all right, they are going to make grave errors that are going to lead to their destruction. All right, and there's nothing they can do about it. All right, the Egyptians here referring to in the 14th verse are referring to the Edomites in the land of America. All right, that's America. All right, then you also have their proxy in the land of Israel, but is referring to America, has caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So they think they can take over and bring in the new world order. All right, bring in a new system, bring in a implantable microchip, etc. So let's listen to this show here called The Gaggle, and we're going to listen to a few minutes and see what they got to say. I think we're in the month of this war that was supposed to be apparently quick. So I would account this as one of their errors. All right, but again, they are being led by those demonic spiritual forces that are telling them to do these things. They're bringing in a new system, and they're not going to be successful. They are not going to win this war. Which the end of it is going to be a thermonuclear destruction and total annihilation of all belligerent parties in the East in that war.
One month since the start of the U.S. Israel war on Iran, and so a war that President Trump, we have to assume, thought that this would be over very quickly, and he would find the proverbial Dulce Rodriguez of Tehran who would just do his bidding. That hasn't happened, and indeed, things really are not at all going well for the United States. We know that President Trump had already said he's going to bomb Iran's power plants. Then he rescheduled that, and now he's rescheduled that yet again. And so as things stand, that he's going to bomb the power plants, or if Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz by April the 6th. Now, the issue of the Strait of Hormuz is kind of interesting because the Strait of Hormuz was open on February the 28th. So you're kind of trying to solve the problem that you caused yourself.
Who closed it? Exactly.
There was no problem with the Strait of Hormuz.
It's not closed. It's gated. It's gated. Now it's a toll booth. Okay.
Exactly.
So I mean, there are ships going in and out. Okay, just very specific ones. Okay,
right. That's right.
It was an international waterway 1 month ago, and now it's essentially, for all intents and purposes, a sovereign Iran issue.
That's right. That's right. So it's now looking. And because although Trump says, "Oh, Iran, badly wants to negotiate," he's not negotiating his own, and at other times it says there's some negotiations that are going on in the background. We have the 15-point peace plan that no one has actually seen, and from what the newspaper reports about the 15-point plan, I mean, there's nothing there that Iran could possibly accept. Basically, we're heading towards a situation where the United States is planning some form of a ground invasion, whether to seize Carg Island, whether to seize other islands.
Now, when it speaks of the error, let's look up the word error, because it's all preordained. So is it really an error? But it's against Babylon America's best interest to do this. It's going to lead to their destruction. So therefore, in that respect, it is an error. All right. But the spirit, the father of spirits, is controlling Esau's spirit. Where we at? Have mangled a perverse spirit, the air. Wander, go astray. Lead astray. Cause the error, mislead. To cause to wander about physically. Intoxication, mentally and morally. So the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He turneth it to whosoever he will. Roughly paraphrasing.
In the Gulf, whether to seize the Iranian coastline, but Trump is now moving U.S. Marines into the region, and one has to think that that's in preparation for some form of an amphibious landing.
And why would we say that? Okay. We watched the buildup, and there was the hotly debated. George and I basically were on the side, well, if you're moving all that stuff there, you're going to use it. Okay. Yeah. It's not for display. Okay. Right. Others disagree. Those that disagree.
And yeah, it makes sense. Why would you move? Okay. It costs, how much does it cost to power a ship? Let's see. Let me look this up real quick. To the cost from Japan to the Mediterranean or Red Sea. All right, I looked it up. It said the Fifth Fleet, I believe that's what it's called, moving and operating a U.S. Navy carrier strike group like the kind that would go from Japan toward the Middle East, so-called Middle East, West Asia, under the United States Fifth Fleet costs roughly $6 million to $8 million per day. 8 million to 15 per day full strike group. $250,000 to $330,000 an hour. One carrier, 60 to 80 aircraft, 4 to 6 escort ships, destroyers and cruisers, sometimes submarines, plus supply ships, 7,000 to 7,500 personnel. So that's a major attack squad. So I'm gonna name that again. One aircraft carrier, 60 to 80 aircraft, 4 to 6 escort ships, destroyers or cruisers /cruisers, sometimes submarines plus supply ships, 7,000 to 7,500 personnel. So that justifies the let's do the high number. 8 million per day, 15 million per day, 330,000 per hour. So that's what we're getting into. So if they're spending anywhere half of that, then we know they're actually going to use it. So this will be the error because they're going to lose, but let's see. Because the implantable microchip, famines, cities being broken up, these things have to occur. Remember how Shah said, these are the beginning of sorrows, of wars and rumors of wars. So we got a lot of suffering to do. We got when it comes to we don't got no power. We got no work. It says there right there. It says neither 15th verse, neither Isaiah 19:15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So yeah, we're gonna be unemployed, and they're gonna implement that chip, and they have the legal right to organize citizens into work brigades and basically put you into slavery, with or without the chip, during the time of war. What's this phrase? Inter arma enim salit legis. Inter arma enim salit legis. In the time of war, the law is silent. In the time of war, the law is silent. And there's another law that takes over. All right. It says Isaiah 19:16, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of Yahweh. It's like you be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. So, and they still going to fight, even though they're afraid. Right? Those other European nations, the beast, don't want to fight, but the Lord gonna make them fight. The Lord gonna make them join, so they can be slaughtered over there in the east, over there in the Gulf, Mediterranean, Red Sea area. They're gonna be slaughtered there. They're gonna even though they don't want to fight, they're gonna have to fight because the Lord gonna pull them, gonna harden their heart like he did the heart of the Egyptian, the Pharaoh. I've heard the apostle, I believe, say that in a few of his videos, or at least one. Let's get a few more minutes of this and wrap it up.
I'm not going to name names here. Their theory of the case was just as valid. Okay, it's not who or is right is the kind of case that you build. Okay, but our case is that Trump does not see any way out. He's not interested in negotiation. He wants a deal, but he doesn't want peace. Okay, and the Iranians know this. Okay, and so remarkably enough, everyone, American troops are going to be involved in some kind of land warfare in the on the Persian Gulf in the Islamic Republic of Iran. I have to pinch myself when I say that because it's just so unnecessary. None of this was necessary at all, and now we're here.
That's right.
Here. And in the backdrop of this, we have no idea. The New York Times is finally, I think it was like in the 8th paragraph, like 12 American bases in the Persian Gulf are all but uninhabitable. Well, I mean, considering how they're so economical with words, I would probably imagine they're wrecked completely.
Right. No, I think that's right. I think these are and it's now becoming increasingly clear that Iran's targeting.
I heard him say he wants a deal, but he doesn't want peace. He wants a deal, but he doesn't want peace. And the apostles and elders cite, he may be Nero. He might be Antiochus too, Epiphanes. He got that peace plan Trump was talking about, and certain nations gave billions of dollars to that peace plan. Antiochus said, by peace shall he destroy many. That was talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. So that spirit is recycled, even if it's not him. That same spirit. That's his ancestor. All right, a Macedonian Edomite.
Is becoming very accurate.
And again, he said he wants a deal, but he doesn't want peace. So that's what they've been hearing. He wants a deal. Trump wants a deal, but he doesn't want peace. I mean, continual war. And when you watch a lot of these videos, what I'm hearing is that the Iranians do not want to just be attacked again. So they're going to keep this war on until the Gulf is free of American forces and they burn the state of Israel, which are Edomites.
Very measured, very, very specific. And so when they say, oh, well, Iran, it's gone down, the rate of missile launches has gone down by 90%. Yeah, but it's become much more targeted. They know exactly what they're hitting. And therefore
that plays into and this is a very key point here, because what we're seeing now is the attempt to dominate the escalation. And what George just said there is part of that calculation, because you lower the volume, but you increase the quality and the accuracy. So if you take out, and this is what I read this morning, higher education institutions were attacked in Iran. Iran is going to turn around and say, we know where your institutions of higher education are, and we can pin. We don't have to send 90, 100, 150. We can send 2.
That's right. That's right. And so it's been quite a remarkable display by Iran.
Yeah, and I heard I was seeing X posts that's saying since you targeted our universities, you have till the 30th of April, or was it 30th of March, to condemn the attacks on the universities. I think it was the 30th, or they're going to start targeting now. If they don't, they're going to start targeting likewise the universities on, I believe either the Gulf regions or the Israelis universities. They're going to target.
Iran's obviously been preparing for this for quite some time, and therefore they already know how they can gradually escalate and how they can continue to inflict pain on the United States and, of course, on the Gulf states. The Gulf states really, they're not. Obviously, they keep condemning Iran, but they have themselves to blame for the situation they've got themselves into. They were always going to be targeted. They had to have known this because Iran has always said that this is going to happen. And
I'm looking at a X post. It says Iran has just blown up the largest UAE-owned oil tanker. If I can find it, I'll show it on the screen. All right, I see a video of it, but a quick search, I couldn't find it exactly. But it may be real. I see a oil tanker on fire, and this claimed to be a UAE oil tanker. So there's more to come. Just stay tuned. Shalom.